Moral catastrophe. That's what the head of the U.S. bishops is calling the sex abuse crisis rocking the American church. The bishops lay out their plan to find a solution. It comes in response to credible allegations against Archbishop Theodore McCarrick and the release of a Pennsylvania grand jury report describing decades of abuse. Cardinal Daniel DiNardo says the bishops have three goals. First, a Vatican investigation into McCarrick that involves lay people. Two, confidential channels to report complaints against bishops. And three, better procedures to resolve those complaints. In a statement today, DiNardo says, quote, "We already know that one root cause is the failure of Episcopal leadership. The result was that scores of beloved children of God were abandoned to face an abuse of power alone." Joining me now is Bishop Lawrence Persico of the Diocese of Erie. Your Excellency, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
The Vatican just broke its silence on this abuse crisis in America. The bishops say they will invite the Vatican to investigate. In your view, should bishops who knew about or covered up abuse resign?
I think they should. I think that we need complete transparency. If we're going to get the trust of the people back, we have to be able to demonstrate it.
And I know talking to lay Catholics, they are angry, they are upset, they're horrified by what they read in that grand jury report in Pennsylvania. How in the world are you going to get their trust back?
Well, as I've been saying, we can talk about transparency, the truth, but much is going to depend upon our deeds. How do we carry that transparency out? And how do we act moving forward? That's going to be key to all of this. And we have to show that we mean what we're saying.
American bishops, though, did issue the Dallas Charter back in 2002, and that was supposed to protect young people. Yet here we are again. So how can anyone believe that the new reforms will actually work?
Well, that gets back to what I was saying, that we need this transparency, and we also need action. So that if there were bishops or other leaders who are negligent, then they need to be removed.
And when you refer,
because the more we cover up, the more we cover up, the less credibility we have.
So when you refer to transparency again and again, what does that mean in your mind?
It means that we're truthful about what has happened, that we don't try to hide this stuff in secrecy. I think it's become very clear to me as one of the dioceses involved in the grand jury, and in seeing all of the testimony and everything else that came out in the grand jury report, it's very clear to me it was a failure of leadership. We need to do better.
One of the things the grand jury found in your diocese, 41 clergy are called by that report predator priests. So what was your reaction to reading through that report?
I found it disturbing, maybe disgusting. It annoyed me to see how, it angered me to see how these priests abused children, people entrusted to their care, people that they looked up to, people that had a responsibility to them. And what did they do? They abused them. So I think it was a real awakening on how we have to change the way we work. Now, obviously, that was 70 years of information. Most of that is from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Going forward, there's less, but still, we have to be on guard.
What caused that break? I mean, you refer to after the 2000s, things got a lot better, but what caused that change in your mind?
Well, I think getting back to the Dallas Charter, and we tried to do better, but we still are not good enough yet.
1,000 victims are, I mean, it's heartbreaking to hear their stories in that grand jury report. 1,000 victims in Pennsylvania in those 6 out of 8 dioceses. Have you had a chance to meet with any of those victims yet?
I've been constantly meeting with victims, yes. I have the meeting tomorrow with one. I've talked to some on the phone. So one thing about our diocese, we've been proactive about this since it all started. And we were very early on, we publicized credible allegations against priests and laity, men and women. They're on our website.
Okay, well, Bishop Lawrence Persico of the Diocese of Erie, thank you for making time for us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.